South African consumers are stretched to the limit. The average household debt in the country is sitting at 75% of disposable income.
We have a total of about 20 million credit active consumers, and just under half, of about 9 million of them, have some kind of impaired credit record.
With high unemployment, rising interest rates, inflation, and the general cost of living going up, the situation is about to get worse.
Consumers are not really interested in sound financial or prudent financial behavior. They are at the moment really basing their decisions on demand and pretty much a materialist kind of perspective.
Two of the country's biggest credit retailers were recently forced to write off $100 million worth of debt.
The world is on a precipice of a major shift. The monetary reset has begun, and we need to get ready. This program aims to inform you on how the monetary system works, how it has been used to rob you of your wealth. I will take you on a journey of discovering what has happened until now, what events are shaping how we will live our lives, and how you can prepare yourself for the biggest wealth transfer in history. South Africa's consumer debt, which includes credit cards, mortgages, and cars, is at a whopping 1.6 trillion rand as of December 2019. South Africa's national debt is a whopping 4 trillion rand. That's roughly 70,000 rand per citizen, including retirees and newborns. South Africa's current money supply, that's hard cold cash, is 1.7 trillion rand. There is an additional 1.7 trillion rand held in long-term savings accounts. This is digital, not hard cold cash. In a simple calculation, you can see that government debt plus consumer debt adds up to 5.6 trillion rand, with only 1.7 trillion rand in hard cash. There is 3 times more debt than cash. If we took all the hard cold cash available, it would clear the consumer debt today, but that would exclude the interest that is due by the time you pay. And tomorrow that consumer debt rises above the amount of hard cold cash that's available. This is what has kept our CPI at an average of 6%. But increase the money supply to match the debt, you will have more money and therefore more spending, resulting in more debt for homes, etc., with the end result being higher inflation, possibly up to 20%. In South Africa, unlike the United States or Europe, we do not just print money into existence out of thin air. We borrow, often in US dollar-based loans, and while the US prints through the Federal Reserve, it devalues the dollar. Remember from episode 2, the Apple story. Same apple, more money, creates inflation. Creates more money for the same product. Our consumer debt now adds up to 34% of our total GDP. South Africa's debt to GDP ratio is at 62%, meaning that it will take all the income South Africa makes would translate us into having to pay 62% of it to settle our debt in 1 year, and possibly more to account for the interest. This would leave us with roughly 35% to finance the country, which currently stands at 6.6 trillion rand per annum. You can see it's virtually impossible when we are running a deficit, spend more than we make. So to keep the country going, we need to curb expenses or take out loans, which the IMF are eager to give us under the banner of helping us with COVID-19. Factions within the ANC and the unions have apparently fought the IMF option, which I am happy about. Rather stop throwing good money at bad business. South Africa last week stated that they would not assist SAA, our national airline carrier, after they requested another 10 billion rand to stay afloat. In my opinion, they should sell the company or its assets, but no longer fund a money burner. SAA is a good example of how bailouts have benefited top levels through bonuses and incentives, yet the businesses keep running at losses, amounting massive debt and still looking for more debt. Consumer spending has increased through debt too, with an average percentage of income of 75% being used to pay debt. The global average is about 75%. Logically, does that mean that people are able to live off 25% of their income for food, fuel, education, medical, entertainment, etc.? Or is there the requirement for yet another loan or a credit facility that needs to keep the credit going? Interesting point of fact, the whole world's GDP adds up to $84 trillion and the whole world's debt adds up to $257 trillion. It's like earning 100 Rand and owing 350, and that excludes the money you need to survive. How is it possible to pay off the amount without taking a loan? The alternative being more productive and increasing your income through products or services sustainably with a clear plan to get out of the debt, having to sacrifice and reduce luxuries until the debt is settled. South Africa has close to 30% unemployment, which means that about 8% of the population pays taxes to support the other 92%. The way we start getting out of this problem is to remove some of the restrictions on business to allow free trade, allow for growth, increase production, increase in employment, investment in bringing manufacturing back to this country, buying local and promote support for local businesses versus buying cheap products and services from other countries. Furthermore, delay short-term gain for long-term gain. Don't buy that TV until you have the money. Don't give in to the loan sharks, even if they dress themselves up in fancy banking colors. Stop allowing celebrities and big business influencing us to buy the fancy new gadget, clothes, phones, a car, a house, to make us feel special for a moment in time. Get out of the debt you have. Become free versus being a slave to your master, the bank, who cares for you enough to put the shackles of debt over your neck for as long as they can. Subscribe to my channel, like, and share this video. Thank you.